Right now, you're listening to the Scary Vibes podcast. My name is Michael, aka Mr. Scary Vibes.
And my name is Abe, aka Big Paranormal. Welcome back, everybody. We are really excited. We have a special guest this week. We have actress and musical artist Kenzie Cavazos. I know that she likes to sometimes go by Kenzie. We are so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here. I appreciate both of you guys. I'm so happy to be here.
Well,
Awesome.
I am very happy to have you here also. Um, with great, Scary Vibes fashion, I always have to start every episode off with me asking you a very important question, and that is, what is your favorite scary movie?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. No, 100% every time. Like I've gotten my answer on that. I've, taken the time to think about this and 100% Terrifier. I'm a Terrifier person all the way through. I've been with Damien Leone since the very beginning of the earlier Art the Clown stages. So
Okay.
following that through and as more developed as it's gotten, like it's just one of my movies. Yeah. So 100% Terrifier. That has been the only movie since it came out in 2016 that has actually really like scared me. It like
Mm,
a lot of the times I can tell when movies are going to do like jump scares or like this is supposed to scare you. Like with every single Terrifier movie, I never see it coming. So,
okay. So
It's a
what is it about the Terrifier movie that actually appeals to you? Is it the gore, or is it just like the fact that it's a guy that's like in a costume, like maybe something that can actually happen in real life?
yeah, 100%. I feel like it's more of the latter. Like, because I'm not big into gore. Like the first movie dug a little bit into the gore, and since then they've obviously, you guys know, they've been getting more gory as the like series continues. I don't care for much of the gore. Like that's not really why I got into the movie. I
Mhm.
just like the idea of it and like how the first one started. Like you're thinking these two people are like gonna be the final characters, and then you come to find out like they're just so minuscule in such a bigger like universe basically. So that was kind of a twist that I wasn't prepared for. I was thinking both of those girls were going to be more of like the main girls, but then it ended up being um the one of her sister. It was her sister that was like
Mhm.
now she's the one that's like being embodied with the whole Terrifier spirit and the supernaturalness of it. But you wouldn't have guessed that watching the first movie at all until at least you get like halfway through, right? So that was a twist for me. And then just the shooting of it, just kind of like the eeriness of Art the Clown. Like, I know a lot of people have tried to do movies like that before, like very mime movies and very like I feel like they've tried to embody that same type of vision before, but it just did not work. Except with Terrifier, that was the only time I saw it really working with like I don't know how they did it, but it just works well with that whole franchise. Like the miming, like just how creepy he is,
Mhm.
because I'm not even like that scared of clowns, but like he definitely like sets the bar.
I've heard, people say that, the Terrifier movies, Art the Clown is, one of their favorite characters. It's a great franchise, but I've never heard the unique answer of he scares you. You said this is a movie that scares me. So I
Yeah.
love I love that answer because usually it's a lot of people that are like gore whores and they love the gore and they're all about it, and
Hmm.
you're like, I'm actually terrified of
Yeah,
Art the
no, it
Clown.
yeah, literally Terrifier. Like that movie actually it's a very scary character in my opinion. The way just how I guess also how bleak it is
Mhm.
so much more scarier too, but yeah, no, that I mean like even then cuz I still do watch like my thing with these Terrifier movies and horror movies in general is like I'm more of on the spectrum of like I watch them just for like comfort because I know what's going to happen. Like I have already seen the movie. I just like to watch it again and again. I'm not a psychopath, but like I do watch it often, but like even then it becomes an issue because I have nightmares about Art the Clown every time I wake up and I'm just like, damn it, he got me again. Like he scared me again, and it's just like, yeah,
That
if I'm
is
not careful, I have nightmares about him.
that is wicked. The fact that it's your comfort movie, but it's also a movie that gives you nightmares. It's like
Yeah.
it is the worst of everything.
It is, yeah.
So I'm
I love the
actually
fact that you were like, I'm sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just love the fact that you were like, I'm not like crazy. But like the funny thing is that I've actually read like that apparently it's said like psychology says that if you can watch a scary movie while you're going to sleep and like still go to sleep and not be affected by it either way, you're a psychopath. So I guess it's a good thing that like you're watching these movies and art is actually still giving you nightmares and it's like legitimately scaring you because it proves that you are in fact not a psychopath. As for the
Yeah.
rest of us, I kind of feel like yeah, I think we're pretty much doomed to that.
No, but side note also, right? The only reason I kind of bring that up too is because before I think it was before the second one came out, or it was a little bit after the second one came out, and like I hadn't done much acting stuff when I was like even doing this, but
Mm-hmm.
I was like commenting on the Terrifier trailer, and like I said, I don't know if it was the second or like after the first one and then the second trailer came out. That's when I started commenting on it, but I was just like, I'm going to keep like watching Terrifier every day until like Damien Leone casts me in the movie. And I posted a comment like that on the Terrifier 2's trailer, right? And then I got, oh my God, like the internet is horrible. I got ripped to shreds. Everybody's like, what a psychopath. Like, she's gonna watch this movie every day. Like, you watch this movie every day. You're such a psycho and all of this. And I'm just like, it's a good movie. And like, I also not only do I do my acting right, but the whole reason I got started into acting was like being an extra and then moving to stand in and then also being like way more behind the scenes. So that's the thing with me that I can separate the horror from the movies is like I'm just intrigued on how they're doing this. I'm intrigued on like the special effects that goes into this. I'm intrigued about like how they're cutting this to make it look so smooth. That's why I like to rewatch them so many times. Also them being a comfort thing, but I also like to like I'm not thinking about it as like, oh my God, this like person is getting chopped to shreds. I'm thinking like, oh my God, like what did they use for the blood? How did they like what did they use for the body? How are they cutting this? So that's a thing too, which a lot of
yes,
people don't understand.
no, I've watched a lot of the behind the scenes stuff and a lot of that practical effect stuff and the conditions that they were really crunched on time. They would be
Hmm.
there days and days just shooting, and that whole team is amazing what they do over there. When I talk about the movie with people, I'm always like, I always look at it as a comedy. I feel like that movie, the only way I could like really mess with it is like it's so over the top. You just have to kind of like just enjoy it almost as like a comedy. Maybe I'm probably definitely sick in the head for probably thinking that way. But
No, not at all. Not at all. I think that's like normal. You have to like justify it somehow. So, and it is funny. It has its funny moments, which I also appreciate that about the movie too, that like I enjoy horror movies that can also be funny, but it's not like camp. I don't know if that makes sense. I might be using the
Okay.
wrong terminology, but I like horror movies that can still touch on the horror without it being like without it completely ruining like the scary aspect of things. So,
yeah, no, it's definitely like a fine line you have to walk when you're
yeah.
using comedy and horror because you want to keep people on on the edge of their seats and scared, but you don't want to like have it a consistent where there's not a break for a good laugh or a little chuckle here and there. So I
Yeah, you
definitely
don't
see
want to
your point on
ruin
that.
it to where it's
I'm
yeah.
I'm actually
Mm-hmm.
curious on how many days did you go? I mean, are you still going on this journey of like I'm watching this every day until they cast me?
No, no, I gave up. I gave up because then everybody made me feel all weird about it. So, but I think for a minute I was watching Terrifier at least like every day for at least a week and a half. Like the first one, the second one. I haven't really gotten to that point where I've started watching the first, second, and third like continuously, but for
Mhm.
the first and the second, yeah, I was watching those like more so the first. I was watching that one so much more like every day just to like I said comfort, and then I don't know, it's just a really good film to me. I don't know, everybody gives it shit. It's just a really good
Mhm.
film. Like I feel like it was really well done for what they're trying to get across. So,
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, you don't have to justify yourself to us. I actually enjoy the films also. I think it's pretty interesting the fact that Art the Clown is a relatively new slasher, right? I mean, when you're thinking about like the pantheon of horror movies, and you've got all of these legends, you've got Michael Myers, you've got Jason, you've got the Creeper, you've got, Freddy
mhm,
Krueger, Chucky. They literally have gone the distance, and it's been like 30 years, some of them plus, that it took them to achieve this like legend status. However, with David Howard Thornton and the things that he did with Terrifier, Damien Leone, his direction and everything, the
mhm,
fact that this character has already in such a short amount of time is now being compared to these powerhouses of horror. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this guy is rapidly approaching that kind of like horror legend, and they're putting him next to, all of these powerhouses of horror. And I think it's awesome. Like David Howard Thornton nailed it when it came to the physical acting aspect of it, right? Because
mhm.
obviously he wasn't talking. And I mean, just all of the
Yeah.
little mannerisms that he did with the hands and the face, and oh, he was so creepy as that
Yeah.
character. Yeah.
No, I agree. I agree. They really found like a gem with him because, like I was mentioning, I've been a fan of Art the Clown for a minute, right? And like
Hmm.
there's also like All Hallows Eve, which is like that wasn't even the same. That wasn't even David. That wasn't even David Howard Thornton. That was a whole other different actor, and he just didn't bring it to life as much as you see David
Hmm.
um bring it to life in these movies. So I feel like that was a really good change up that like really did save the whole thing of it, because
Hmm.
he really has brought that character so much more to life than what it was previously in like the smaller shorter films. So
Hmm.
I agree, but like I'm happy about it because Art the Clown definitely deserves his spot with all the other all the other scary killers and everything like that.
I agree.
So, so I know Art the Clown is giving you nightmares nowadays, but I'm actually curious where your love for scary movies and horror all started. Who was giving you nightmares when you were just a child?
Yeah, that's actually a good question, because and and I would have to kind of attribute it to Rob Zombie, House of a Thousand Corpses, like Devil's Rejects. That's kind of where I even started with horror films, and like if my memory isn't like completely like throwing me under the bus, but like obviously I saw Chucky, I saw Michael Myers, I
Hmm.
saw Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't think it was until Rob Zombie and all of the horror stuff he started doing, that's when I really started paying more attention to horror, and I was kind of like, these storylines are cool. Like the way they're approaching this is cool. And then like obviously like any girl can vouch for it. Like true crime is just like what we're always watching. Like true crime is everywhere, you know? So I've always been a fan of that. So I think they at some point kind of coincide, and it just intrigues me. I just like the whole process of it. I like being scared, you know, I like seeing people scream their heads off. I love seeing people, you know, like die. I love like seeing scary villains, you know.
I
That's
love it.
hilarious. You know, whenever I people ask me what's my favorite scary movie, it is a hard question to ask because it's forever
Mhm.
changing. You always feel like you're being judged on that question. You know, you
Mhm.
can never really just be yourself. When I'm trolling people, I love to say the Blair Witch Project, but for the people who know me, it is House of a Thousand Corpses. That is actually my favorite scary movie. I love
Okay, yeah, yeah,
I love
yeah.
all the characters in it. You know, there's so much life to it, all the set design. I really, really hope one day Rob Zombie gives us a Dr. Satan movie. That character at the very end,
Oh, yeah,
he was
yeah.
just so
Mhm.
scary, so creepy. I want to know more about that character. Rob Zombie needs to bring him to life on like
Yeah,
his
that's
own
so
film.
crazy you bring that up. I totally forgot about Dr. Satan, but because I got so sidetracked because I'm like, we're talking about Rob Zombie, right? But I feel like a lot of people I've talked to that have watched House of A Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects, they have never seen 31 by Rob
Mhm.
Zombie. And like that is one of my favorite movies by not a psycho. Always, I also, no, I watch 31 so much more, like out of any of the other movies now, because it's just like such an intriguing concept. And like the way he shoots the films is so crazy too. Like,
Mhm.
I just, yeah, 31. I'm like, I had to ask if you guys have seen it because nobody I know has seen that movie. And
I have
Unfortunately,
seen it.
oh, you have? Okay.
No, I've seen it. I know a lot of people love that movie. I mean, that
yeah.
opening, what is it, like prologue they call it? That was like it just like pulls you in. It's creepy. Um, Definitely, yeah. Rob Zombie has his own style when it comes to movies. I think I was listening to like Joe Rogan. He was talking about he's like it's like his own genre. He's like the Mad Max of horror movies. Like you could tell when it's a Rob Zombie film, he has his own style, and that's amazing. That's
Mhm.
I love everything he does. I mean, the Munsters, right? Like everyone loves the TV show. I mean, the movie was okay, but the set design alone, I tell people all the time, at least watch it for the set design and the
Hmm.
costumes because it is
Yeah.
just every scene is so beautiful to look at. Highly
Yeah.
recommend it.
I
Mhm.
agree. No, I've seen the monsters he made because like I've been a big fan of Rob Zombies and like basically the whole cast he always has in the movies. It's always most of the same people, you know. So I'm just like these are all awesome people, and then like I don't know, I think like one of them I had a crush on, so that's why I would watch the movies too.
I like it.
I'm curious. I'm curious. So you're saying that you had a crush on one of the characters?
One of the actors, Jeff
Oh,
Daniel
okay.
Phillips.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, because I was literally thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, you hear like of people saying that they do develop these kind of crushes on like slashers and whatever. I have heard that there are people that like definitely develop crushes on like serial killers and like things of that
Oh,
nature. And it's so funny because I keep thinking back to where you keep saying like I'm not a psycho, like
yeah,
I'm not crazy, I'm not crazy, and it makes me
not
think
that
about
part.
how it makes me think about how like there's this hypothetical question that people ask: if you had a sign above your head that told people what they need to know about you, I feel like yours would be like I'm not crazy, like I'm not crazy, I'm not a psycho.
Not crazy. I'm not crazy. Also, you're like, nope, that's 100% what a crazy person would say.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
not the characters, just the actor. I'm not that deep into it. Like it's more of
okay.
the actor, the specific actor in Rob Zombie's movies that I would follow and like just watch
Mm,
because he was in every single one of them. So,
I got you. I got you. So when it comes to Rob Zombie, man, there like Mr. Scary Vibe said, he does have his own style when it comes to it, right? And I think one of the things that is
Mhm.
so fascinating, that I mean, I don't know if everybody knows this, but I know that he was like a set designer and would help build the sets back in the day on like the old Pee Wee Herman show, which
Yeah.
it kind of goes to show you like what kind of zaniness and like wackiness that this guy had going on in his mind, you know, because all you need
Yeah.
to do is really look at that set design and see like, wow, like this imagination is all over the place. So the fact that he took something like that and was able to add a splash of horror to it and create his own world, right? His own style, his own characters like Captain Spaulding, that people now
Yeah.
like are, they just absolutely love. You know, it goes way beyond his music and everything like that. And he just created this awesome world that now people can enjoy for decades to come, you know?
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense, though. I think I did see him say something about him being a set designer at some point. I think it might have been a documentary or an interview or something. I can't keep track, but yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
mean that's exactly how I'm getting into it, is like being behind the scenes and seeing how this stuff works, and then it just creates a whole different monster, for depending on how creative you are, like that can just like like that just opens up the gateway for you to just run with that kind of stuff, and then like however whatever kind of vision you're trying to give to the audience with all of that information you already have, like with him being a set designer on such a crazy show like that. Just
Mm-hmm.
think about taking all of that set and then making it more scary, or like putting a horror aspect to it. It's stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that that just like blows my mind, because the opportunities really are so endless for stuff like that.
So now that we kind of got into like, all the movies and how you fell in love with, the genre, I'm actually curious to know more about you. And what I mean by that is, you are a hip hop artist and a actress. So I want to know how you got into both of those avenues, and then we'll get into like some of the projects that you're working on.
Yeah, for sure. So we touched a bit on it earlier. I led with my music in the beginning. I was leaning more towards my music. I mean, acting was always there, but at the time that I was really it's easier, I guess, to be more forefront with music than it is with acting, because that kind of you have to get casted to get a main role for acting, right? If
Mm-hmm.
you want to make your own projects with music and stuff, you don't, like 100% you're forefront. So that was always easier for me to just kind of take that reign on it. Like I mentioned, I was still doing background work, extra work. I was doing stand-in work while I was in between, and then doing my music was just like, I'm a big fan of rap music. I'm a big fan of music, just creativity across the board, I guess, at this point, and like, um, Post Malone, like I love Post Malone. I
Mm-hmm.
I just really like that person. I like that guy. He's so humble. Like I don't he could do no wrong to me, honestly. And then just how versatile he is, that's kind of what even got me into music. I was like, well, if like he's making it more like, I don't know, I guess appropriate, or like, easy to just like, hey, well, this is me. This is who I am as a person. So that's what I ended up doing. I'm like, well, okay, well, if he can be his self, like, then I could be myself. And then I did a few songs. There's only about 3 on my Spotify right now. Motivation and creativity does not come when you want it to, So I'm still trying to figure that out, still trying to see if like that's something I have the voice for, if I still have stuff I want to touch on, or but those are up there on my Spotify, but it's just been a little dabble of both. I just love the entertainment industry, period. So whether it's music, whether it's movies, whether it's modeling, which I do sometimes here and there also, it's just whatever I can bring to life, I'm all for it. Like that's all I want to do is bring things to life. it's so nice to bring stuff to life rather than it just being like a little voice memo or just like a little note you typed
You
in
have
on
it
your phone. So,
in your name on Spotify, Mercedes
oh,
Kenz.
yeah, Mercedes Kenz, because I make a lot of puns in my raps, and I just have always been a punny person. So Mercedes Kenz.
No, I
Maybe
love it.
one day I'll get sponsored.
No, I love your energy. I love your personality. I was actually surprised because I know about, your acting, and then I was diving in a little bit deeper to prepare for this episode. And I was pleasantly surprised, and I checked it out, and yeah, you should definitely continue with it. I think it's super cool. It'd be even cooler if you like added some horror into it. Maybe we could do a collab.
100%. 100%.
Drop the
Yes.
mic. Okay,
Yeah.
so okay, so now I want to kind of get into one of the projects that I found out about. That's how I found you through social media. A friend of mine was promoting a movie they were in called Goldilocks, Halloween of Havoc.
Hmm.
And I think the director was kind of saying this is like his inspiration for, his directing style is Halloween and Terrifier.
Yep.
So tell us about the movie and tell us about your role in the movie.
Yeah, so that was I mean 100% essentially that's why I even jumped for that movie was because that's how he led with it. It was like it's a very Terrifier inspired kind of film, and I'm just like 100% I want to do that, right? So I initially applied for one of the bigger roles. I didn't get it, and then I was also working corporate at the time, so it wasn't really open to my schedule as well. But um then a few weeks later he's like, hey, like, do you want to come be background? So I was just like, okay, like, I don't want to be a bad sport just because I didn't get the role. Like, I should still go be background and like get more get more of the like the idea of the movie, and like I love doing background work even more, like it doesn't matter. I still just love being on set. So that's
Mhm.
really what I aim for with any type of project. And apparently one of the other girls, she wasn't going to make it, and because he already knew I auditioned for another role, they're like, hey, do you want to jump in? Like, you've got like 5 minutes to learn your lines, like go ahead and like send it. And I was just like, okay,
Well,
and that's what happened. I ended up sending it. Like, my role is Eden. I'm one of the main girl's friends. I'm just one of the um friends that they see at the club. I kind of play a little bit of a role into the movie. I can't give too much away, but there's definitely a reason I'm there to kind of help like keep more of the storyline on track, I guess, for the audience as well. And it was so much fun. Like Goldilocks, I swear that's going to be a cult classic, just as everything else. If not, I would literally put it up there with Terrifier. It's going to be at least somewhat of a like level kind of thing with Terrifier, because like there's just no way. The whole storyline to it all and the character itself, like everything they're putting behind the character, all of the marketing behind the character, like that's going to be such a good movie. And I really can't wait to see it because they've really
mm,
created something very unique with that as well.
okay,
So
so
I
this
did
is
see
this would be defined as a is this a slasher film? Awesome.
Yeah, horror slasher. I would include slasher. Yeah.
so I saw a promo video where you guys were at like a convention, or Goldilocks was at a convention,
Hmm.
and he's like they're like braiding people's hair but then cutting off like locks of it like
Ex-
Goldilocks. And
exactly.
then it cut to like a promo of the or it cut to a scene from the movie where he's like collecting people's like hair. It's like, what is he creating, a wig?
Yeah, yeah, it's part of his own little wig he's making, but exactly what I'm saying. Just like at the convention, like they know what they're
Mhm.
doing with like the marketing side of it and asking people for like the locks of hair and like he's just being weird, you know, that's just what he does. Like
Mhm.
there's a reason it's called Goldilocks. Like what was Goldilocks and the Three Bears, you know? He
Mhm.
only Goldilocks, he only wants blonde girls, you know?
Got you.
So,
And it kind of fits into like the whole subgenre right now in horror that's kind of like it's kind of taking over right now, like with the Pooniverse films that are going on right now. They're taking all of these like old school stories, these whimsical stories that you kind of grew up with, and they're just creating these just horror versions of them, which I mean, me and Mr.
mhm.
Scary Vibes most recently went to go see the Pinocchio Unstrung, and that was absolutely
Oh, no
amazing.
way.
Yeah, it was fantastic on just every level. It checked every single box. Um,
Okay.
but I'm
Okay.
actually really excited to see like what other new projects people can come up with some of these like kind of classic stories. You know, they're taking these
Yeah.
figures and they're turning them into these just like slashers, monsters, killers. Like I love it. I love everything about it right now. So I'm actually pretty excited to watch your guys' film.
Me too. I can't wait. I swear that movie's gonna like just like hit the ground running, in my opinion. Like
Hmm.
every time I've been on set, it just blows my mind. And like on top of the fact that I love horror movies, it's just like everything they're doing is always like breaking some boundary, you know? So it's
Hmm.
just like it's sick. I can't wait to see that movie.
So, okay, so you're an actress in the movie. So, can you kind of tell me about maybe like a difficult conditions that you had to go through? Was there like a certain night or a certain day that you were filming and it was just like it took a lot out of you?
Well, that one, I guess, kind of took a lot out of me because I wasn't expecting it. And then, like I mentioned, I had to like learn my lines really quickly and still had to like come through being like somewhat sort of organic with my performance. I'm like, being upgraded from an extra basically to a featured role, you know, around, you know, all the other main actresses and like, you know, not gonna get dive too deep into all of that, you know, but that I think that would like kind of like fluster anybody being like upgraded from background to a featured role with you know, castmates that you haven't met and it's just like, okay, well, you know, you got to be organic with it. Like here's all these people, you have 5 minutes to meet all these girls and learn your lines, you know?
Hmm.
So, and also they were like so like I said initially I was an extra. I was supposed to be out of there by like maybe 12 or something and then they asked like, well, if you take this featured role, like we don't know how long you're going to be out here till. And I didn't get out of there until like 5 in the morning, and I was just like,
Oh.
oh, cool, cool. It's just like, all right, cool. You know, in the moment, you know, you're not gonna hesitate. You're gonna be like, yeah, I'll do that role, anything you need, and then you figure out like, oh, well, how long? And they're like, maybe like 5 in the morning, and you're just like okay. You
Well, there's
know, like
well,
you're s-
there's a lot of people, especially the day and age that we live in, that would probably say, "No, I can't do it." And the fact that, you saw an opportunity and you took it, it says a lot about your character and about how
yeah.
far you're gonna go. Like I really do believe that you're gonna like continue to do good things, great things, and I'm gonna be like, I was
Oh.
the first interview. I interviewed her first, right here.
Yeah. Yeah,
Me,
so yeah, that's the goal, you know, if and that's kind of how I've been playing it is just like if if anything, the attitude is what's going to get you the role as well. You know, if you're willing to just basically, you know, like keep your mouth shut and do what you have to do no matter how long you're going to be there, like
Hmm.
that's kind of how I take acting in general. As like I've said, being on sets, background extras, you know, it's a lot of hurry up and wait, and I'm just used to it. So I'm like, if you guys need somebody, I'm here. I won't complain. I'll be here until like 5, 7 in the morning, you know, whatever I want or whatever you guys want, you know,
Hmm.
and That's like that was the first scene I did. I had to go back a few weeks ago to do another scene with them, and that one was just so crazy as well. And hopefully Kayla can come on and she could tell
Hmm.
you more about that scene too, because it's
So
an
what?
awesome scene.
So when is this film supposed to release? Do you have a date or like a frame maybe?
So in the beginning, when I first was going there, for my first shooting day, it was about like that it was supposed to be done maybe September of 2026 this year, but I
Mm.
think now that I had saw the Kickstarter and everything like that, I think it's pushed back at least a little bit longer. So maybe the beginning of next year, I might say, like I mentioned,
Mm.
like I'm not too sure because I
Yeah,
know
we're
they're
gonna have
still
to.
finishing up a few scenes that they didn't get to shoot. So
Yeah, I was watching one of the promo clips for the Kickstarter, and he was talking about how they're, there's a lot of color grading and post production, stuff that they
yeah.
need to do. So we'll definitely have to keep our eyes out on that. So I also saw when I was doing some of my stalking work today that you're working on another project, Take One. I was able to see a little clip of it on YouTube. Can you tell us a little bit about that project?
Yes, yes. Take One is more what's been my like little baby. That's my main role. I'm playing a girl named Edie. The whole synopsis of that movie is basically a sheriff is trying to figure out all of these very like weird occurrences that have been happening around the town.
Got you. Okay. So I have a question. Like I've always wondered this because every single time you're watching a horror movie, you see these amazing actors, actresses that are having to portray specific emotions on screen, right? Like whether it's like running or like making it seem like they are just completely terrified. And there's times where I look at these and I'm thinking to myself, okay, are there moments during filming when these actors and these actresses are legitimately kind of freaked out or scared? Like, has there ever been a moment where you were filming where you were actually legitimately kind of like creeped out by your co-star or
Oh,
whoever was playing this?
no.
Okay.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, that's crazy that you have thought about that because that was me with Take One. There's a very intense scene with my character, and like when I was filming that, like I was physically shaking, just like being in the mindset of what the script was calling for. I was
Mhm.
physically shaking in the sense that like I was embodying the character so much. I was like, this is terrifying that somebody would be going through this right now, and like
Mhm.
that was a first for me because I did not expect that, like you're just I'm an actor. I'm just going to do what they're telling me to do, and bring the vision to life, but you would never, at least I wouldn't have expected to like be physically grounded by what was going on and like scared by it. So
Mhm.
it was crazy. And like I said, I can't give anything away on that, which sucks. Like I can't even elaborate it on a little bit, but that yeah, 100% to answer your question. Yeah, that's how I felt at least one scene in that movie where I was
Mhm.
like it called for so much emotional exhaustion. I
Mhm.
felt it all the way through my body. And I was like, this would be terrifying if this is actually what was happening in my own life. It just scared me to death. Like, I was shaking. And of course, that's going to make filming better, because
Mhm.
I'm just shaking. But I was just like, okay, this is cool. Like they're gonna get their shot, but I'm like, I'm actually terrified.
Oh wow.
I cannot wait to see that. And then message.
It's a good movie. That one was a lot smaller than Goldilocks. Goldilocks had a lot of people putting that movie together and making sure that that movie's coming together the way it needs to be. Take One was more of like there was probably 4 or 5 of us the whole time. We filmed it in a whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So and Yeah, I'm so excited to see that movie. It's gonna be awesome.
I definitely can't wait to see it. Um, so
100%.
so something we didn't really plan on talking about until like a minute before we started shooting today's episode. You had
Mhm.
mentioned that you have a paranormal experience, and I saw Big Paranormal's like hair on his back stand up. He was like, "Tell me more." So can you tell us about this experience that you had?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I can definitely tell you about it. So, a thing with me too is like, I dabble more into occult stuff. Like, I love to, do spells. I love to dabble in that kind of stuff. I love to like see, what I can get going for me. And a lot of the times, I'm not doing it in such a like dark manner. I know it can lead to something like that essentially, like if you're not careful, but a lot of the times I dabble in spells and everything like that, and that's always a fun thing for me because it's just like such a vibe, but even so before that, like I was mentioning, and I had told you guys I had to think about this for a minute because I was a lot younger when this happened, but
Mm.
me and all of my friends were hanging out one day. Of course it always is going to start with a freaking Ouija board sometimes, but like we
Good
played with it for
times,
a
good
little bit. We
times.
played with it for a little bit. It wasn't anything too crazy, and we went on about our night like that, but we also went on a hike. My family owned about 5 acres of land, so like nobody was going to be around that land, right? We're all just
Mm.
walking and kind of like taking in the night. It's super dark outside. There was a full moon, and we're all kind of hanging out. We start hearing some noises, like the like leaves are, just weird outdoor noises that are
Mm-hmm.
scary, but you're just like, I shouldn't think too much into this, but you can't help it because as much as it sounds, it's still like an abnormal noise, even being outside, So we're just all kind of like looking around. Everybody's splitting up in different type of ways, kind of trying to see where this sound is coming from. We were also by this rock smoking cigarettes, right? I was smoking cigarettes back then. Crucify me, I'm a piece of shit, but but
No.
we're all just like hanging out there. We don't know where this noise is coming from, and then we're walking away, right? We're just like, okay, well, let's call it. We're all walking away with that rock we were at. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Everybody saw a face in the rock, and then they saw it like basically transform into like a human form outside of the rock, and like everybody saw that. So like I don't know what was going on, but like we all saw that. We just kind of was like, we all took off running because we don't even know what the hell was going on, and like it was just terrifying. I don't know if you guys have a story like that, but like with it being that dark, with it being at night, with it being on 5 acres of land that nobody else should be on,
Mm-hmm.
there really is no answer for what happened there, So
Zoiks.
some days I
That's
still think about it. I don't know. There's no like even realistic way to explain that.
uh,
So clearly something.
I mean, so it sounds like a pretty terrifying experience to have, even just on your own, right? But the fact that you had these other people that all witnessed the same exact thing that you witnessed too, I
I
don't know
think
if
that
that
makes
makes
it
it.
worse.
I was gonna say, I don't know if that makes it better or if it makes it worse because it's like, okay, this really happened, and I've got all these
Yeah.
other people that are validating that it happened. Oh man, that's crazy.
It was insane. And I don't think I'm like speeding the story up at all, but like it is so terrifying. Unexplained stuff like that is what scares me the most too. Unexplained
Mm.
stuff. I just don't like it. I don't even realistically you can't explain that, I don't like stuff that's going to have me thinking like, "Oh, am I like crazy?" But
Mhm.
like I said, it might be better to just lead with "Am I crazy?" rather than like four other people being with you and they also
Hmm.
saw that, and then you're like, okay, well, I know we're not all crazy, you know,
Just
so
read the box above my head. I'm not crazy.
yeah, just post
Exactly.
it right up here. I'm not crazy.
So, like, if you don't mind me asking, around what age were you when that happened?
Hmm. I was about, well, we were all about 19 to 22. It was about
What?
four of us, so with like 19 to 22
Okay.
years old.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
guys weren't even like that. You weren't even like too much, like, you weren't young, right? Like, you weren't little kids.
No.
Yet you
Yeah.
still made the decision to mess with a Ouija board. I find that
Yeah.
interesting. Very.
We knew what we were going for. Like we knew what we were looking for until I guess you find it and then you're like,
Hmm.
"You know what? Never mind." Like
I don't know what it is, man. I feel like the Ouija board has become kind of a rite of passage, because a lot of the people that we talk to, when we ask them about like their paranormal experiences, more than likely they're going to say like, oh, when I was like 12 years old or like 15 or whatever, I decided, me and my friends decided to bust out a Ouija board and start trying to conjure spirits and talk to spirits and whatever. So like,
yeah.
it kind of seems like it's becoming kind of a rite of passage for,
Yeah.
people, young adolescents kind of coming into young adulthood and whatnot. I don't know what it is. I was, growing up in a Hispanic household, I was always told, stay away from it, don't ever mess with
Mhm.
it. And I listened. When
Yeah.
my grandmother told me don't mess with it, I completely listened. But that didn't
No,
save me.
see,
That did not
I
save
don't
me.
listen. I don't listen. I want to figure out what's going on. I want to figure out if like these things are real, you know? So I'm like,
She
oh,
wants
it's just
all
a
the smoke.
board, you know? Like I'm going to figure out if this is like actually capable of, you know, causing such, I guess, havoc, if you will, you know, not in a
Mm.
bad way, but I still do want to kind of test my own experience to it. And
You know what? Props to
I
in
used to,
a
you.
10 out of 10, I guess. I mean, I
Right.
don't,
Props to
I
you for
used to
being
play
so
when I was a
adventurous.
kid. I used to play
Hmm.
when I was a kid. If I could find some adults that are down to play, I would play again. But it's kind of hard to find adults that want to play.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, like, right, what are you gonna do? You know, like, corporate adult life is pretty scary. I might take a Ouija board spirit at this point, you know, like, you know,
Hey,
you
if it
might be
makes
doing me a favor.
Listen, if it makes for some interesting content now, you could go viral and become super famous for it and whatever. I guess that's
Yeah,
worth it. That's worth it for some people, man. But like, I don't
some
know.
people,
I
yeah.
know that Mr. Scary Vibes loves a good, Ouija board story. Like I said, I stay away from those things. And if listen, bro, just to clarify, if you were to do something like that, I'd be in the room, but I would not be touching that planchette. I'll just tell you that right
Mm.
now. Okay.
I need to find
You're like,
some, you know.
I'm gonna chill out and I'm gonna watch,
I'm gonna be
but
over here behind this barrier, a pillow fort
yeah,
maybe that I'll create to kind of keep myself safe from everything.
whatever. Whatever works, you know, like
Hmm.
all I know is I'm not touching it. But
Right.
yeah, no, I like that stuff. And like I had told you guys earlier, I dabble in like witchcraft and spells and everything like that. So on
Hmm.
top of that, I'm sure that doesn't help with
Mm.
trying to, you know, navigate a like not spooky lifestyle. You know, that's kind of inviting stuff as well, in my opinion. So
Mm.
Mackenzie, this has been so much fun. Let everyone know where they could find you.
okay, everybody can find me. Instagram, Mercedes Kens, and Spotify Mercedes Kens.
Hmm.
If you go to my Instagram, you can also see the link for the Take One trailer as well as Goldilocks. Both of those trailers are linked to my Instagram, and so my Instagram is just a smooth shot if you want to get any kind of information. My Spotify's on there, so are the trailers. So Mercedes Kins. I believe it's underscore Mercedes Kins, and then two extra underscores. So
Okay, awesome.
We'll definitely have to check it out. All our listeners, watchers, make sure you go show Mackenzie some love. Since we're kind of at this portion, we're all kind of, talking about where you could find us. Scary Vibes. It's a horror community that we started over 6 years ago. You can find us on Facebook groups. We actually also just started a Discord. Welcome to 2026. Maybe I'm too late, maybe I'm there, but we're doing watch parties, we're posting memes, we're having a good time. If you want to join, reach out on Instagram. Come DM Mr. Scary Vibes. I will get you a link to our server. Um, Big Paranormal. What else you got for us?
No, I mean, just to, draw more attention to like the Discord and everything. We've got some friends that were hard at work at it, and they had put in some amazing activities, different rooms that you can partake in. It's just super fun. The community is awesome, filled with great people, artistic people, talented people. Just to have great talking points and discussions and stuff. It's absolutely amazing. Man, Mackenzie, just like Mr. Scary Vibe said, thank you so much for taking the time to come and speak with us today. This has been an awesome, awesome conversation. And hopefully we can get you, if you're not too busy in the future and, blowing up and getting all famous and stuff, maybe you can remember us and come back and speak with us again. Mackenzie
yeah,
Cavazos, you are amazing.
thank you. Thank you. No, I appreciate both of you guys. I love that you had me here. I love getting to know you guys and talking to you. And I love what you're doing. Keep doing it. You guys are making that, like outreach for everybody. I love
Mhm.
it.
Let everybody thank you for listening and watching, and we'll catch you next time.
All right.